Wait, sis.
Patterns.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first podcast called Wait, Sis, Let Me Explain.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, I really am.
We've been wanting to make this podcast for how long?
Forever. And recently, my sister came to me and she was like, let's just start a podcast. And, life happens. And we were just kind of like, I was kind of like, and then I just said, let's do it. And then I joined to the dream and we're here.
Facts.
We're here.
Facts.
So.
And the crazy thing is, we had spoken about starting a podcast a minute ago. Yeah. But we always had the idea, but we never put it into work. So we're like, yeah, we'll talk about it. Podcast, okay. But it was it always ended up there. It was never like, all right, we're going to do it this day, this weekend.
I know.
Until now, we're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Going for it.
And we were like, if we don't go ahead and just do the Instagram and the YouTube, which we appreciate everyone who immediately followed our page once we started posting it on Instagram. I'm like, look, if we don't do it, I guess by doing it, it just held us accountable.
Yeah.
And we already said, we put the date where we're going to release this episode. And, it just made us we really got to do it.
Dedicated. We have to do it.
Yeah, we already did the pages. We did the YouTube. Let's just hurry up.
So if you guys haven't followed our Instagram, actually, you can go ahead and follow us in a little bit. Stay tuned. But you can go ahead and follow us at Wait Sis, Let Me Explain. Just like that.
Yeah.
On Instagram. So go ahead, hit that follow button, as well as comment, and subscribe on this video, and turn on that little, notification bell, so you guys can be always there waiting for us for our next video.
Yep. Yeah, that's amazing. So let's just jump right into it.
I say let's go.
My name is Karina, really. For those who don't know me.
That's right. And I'm Kiara, however you prefer to say it. For those that don't know me as well.
We're sisters. I'm the oldest. She's the middle. We have a younger sister. All girls.
Shout out to you, Karen.
Yes. And I'm the oldest. She's the middle one. And we're sisters, real sisters. And we decided to come together and have these dynamic conversations about, just life and just everything, everything we just go through in all aspects, and, reaching a public that, that can relate and see yourselves in us and vice versa. So.
That's right. Yeah. Like she said, we're just so excited to be here because I feel like there's so many of you guys like us, and honestly, we just chat. We're always talking just about anything. So we thought, why not just go ahead and just do this?
Yeah, and we're always like, man, if there's a hidden camera around here, people will have a ball. So
seriously. So
now, we're actually making it happen, and I'm a little shy to be in front of a camera. I'm not gonna lie. If you know me, you know. But once I'm comfortable and around, and I'm joking, and everyone's laughing, and I just be that serious. But now I get to, show that personality, and I'm just excited.
Yeah, this is that platform for that. Get ready to laugh, get ready to cry, get ready to just for everything, because we're gonna keep it real. Okay?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Keeping it real.
And that's one of the things I told her. I was like, if I'm gonna do this, it has to be all the way real, because
for sure,
not just we already have people that know us, in real life off social media. So the last thing I'm gonna do is get on here and be someone that I'm not, or say things that aren't true. So one thing that was really big for me was just keeping it real, all the way through.
For sure. Yeah. So I say let's get into it. Get to know us a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
I guess we can start with the basic. I don't know. What's your favorite color?
I would say black. Neutral colors. I mean, you can see black.
Yeah. I mean, black is good.
We're both into black. I mean, neutral colors. I just keep it neutral.
Yeah, I always like black as well. And it just goes good with everything. They say it actually makes you look slimmer too, so I like that. And I have a thing for like blues and greens.
Yes.
I feel like those are really calming colors.
Yeah.
And it's just something about just blue and the green is something, I don't know.
I mean, although I have been getting into purple, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, and I think
this
that
whole purple situation is a vibe.
And that also too, because our colors are gonna be, you know, our colors do represent something.
Yes.
And I just want to go off of that as well, just to let you guys know a little bit. The main color is purple, and that is for royalty and luxury, power, ambition. I think that's just like really, really dope.
Yeah.
And without even us knowing the colors, we were just, you know, she really came up with the colors. And she's like, I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that. And I was like, oh my God, it's so cute. Like when she was telling me, I just saw the vision.
Yeah.
And I was like, word, we doing it. And then as well as like the mint green is linked to positive emotions, growth, creativity, and vividness. So I thought that was like really, really dope. And without us even really knowing, because she just sent it to me. She was like, I went on and I looked at what those colors represent.
Yeah.
And we already had everything ready to go.
Right.
And I just thought it was cool because like we was manifesting without even knowing.
It was so funny because out of nowhere, I was just like, let me check what these colors mean. Like, it was just out of nowhere. And that just really confirmed to me, like, this is God. Like, we're doing this.
We have to do it.
Like, this is it. Even the colors, like, manifesting without even knowing, like, come on.
Yeah, for sure. I was on board. I had never been really, like, a purple kind of girl.
Same.
But just off, I don't know, everything was, like, even cool. Even, like, the cups and everything.
Yeah.
And we got the purple candle going on.
It's a vibe.
Yeah,
Come on, it's a vibe.
It is a vibe. You can't even lie.
It's definitely a vibe.
What are one of your goals for the year?
One of the goals for this year. Let's see. Honestly, one of them, probably get more fit.
Okay.
Fitness.
Lose
more pounds. If you guys didn't know, this is something else about me.
Yes.
I recently had a baby.
Yay. That I love.
Shout out to Lindsay.
I'm finally an auntie. I love her.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. She's growing up so fast. She's 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, she's growing. She's about to be 7, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been, you know, pregnancy takes a toll on your body. And honestly, I'm just trying to get like back into that mode, you know, working out, losing, you know, that baby fat right now.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of my goals this year, for sure.
Yeah. And I've also told you too, like, I get it. And I'm always going to support you, anything that I want to do better. But, you know, the baby is 6 months, and I'm not a mommy yet, but I do have friends who are moms and had more than one kid. And, you know, they get into, like, this thing that I feel like if only moms can understand, you know, postpartum and things like that. And I just feel like I always tell my sister, just have, like, grace with yourself and
for sure,
just know that your body just went through this whole experience.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, like, obviously do your due diligence of eating right and working out, but you know, also don't be like too hard on yourself, because you did just bring a whole
a whole human.
A whole human.
I still can't believe it sometimes. Lord Jesus. But that's a whole nother episode.
Yep. We're gonna be talking about that.
We'll talk about that story.
Motherhood and everything. I guess I'll answer the same question. One of my goals for the year is to live more in the moment. Mm-hmm. I feel like the pandemic, a lot has changed. Everything around us. And I've lived a lot of different changes, and I'm such a person that always wants to, like, I'm either like thinking about the past or I'm too ahead in the future, and I'm always like,
come on,
you know, if I would have done X, Y, and Z, and like, why didn't I do this, or or in the future when I do this and how about I do that, and I think that this year I just want to be more present. Just be more in the present moment and just enjoy it.
For sure. That's actually a really good goal, actually.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we always tend to like rush and think about tomorrow instead of just enjoying the little things.
Yeah.
Moments. And honestly, being a mom, I've learned that recently, like I need to live in the moment. Like I'm always worried about tomorrow. Like I can wake up, like I might not even wake up tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a huge blessing. Just like, that's a really good goal.
Yeah. And I think just being an aunt and seeing my niece just grow so fast. I saw her, be born. Like I was there in her labor and everything. And then I left for about 3 months. I was out of the country. When I came back, she was like a whole nother person. I was like, oh my God. And then that just lets you know how much like time goes by.
Yes,
and
for sure.
Definitely live in the moment and just like not miss on those like little details that make life just so much worth it.
For sure.
Definitely live in the moment. Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's get into the topic for today.
I had another one.
Oh.
In case you wanted to just to keep it at 3. What is your first thought in the morning?
Ooh. What is my first thought? What am I going to eat? I wake up hungry. No, just kidding. But not really.
Yeah, because we're keeping
honestly, first of all, my first thought in the morning is being grateful.
Yes.
I'm grateful to open up my eyes.
Yeah.
Talk to God. Thank you for this day, because a lot of people didn't wake up today.
Man, I was reading this post I saw one time put in their story, and they said, yes, the people that didn't get to wake up today, like the ones from last night were making plans for this morning. The ones from this morning are making plans for tonight. It was like something like that. And then, life is so short, and just being thankful. I think that's more into like what mine would be as well.
Yeah.
I have a really faith-based background and the way I was raised. And, sometimes when you're younger, it doesn't really make sense until you're a little older and you just go through things in life. And then you just, I think my very first thought, and I'm trying my hardest to like not grab my phone first thing in the morning. But as soon as I open my eyes, it's normally like I have to go pee.
Keeping it 100.
But then before I even make it, I just open my eyes and I'm just like, man, I'm here another day. And no matter like how, like what state I feel myself in, like emotionally, if I'm having like a really, really rough week, or I'm in a funk, or I'm just happy, or I have something exciting to get that day done, just taking out these like 10 seconds and just being like,
thank you, God.
Thank you, God. Like I'm one of the chosen ones. I was on the wake up list this morning. So
thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. That would definitely be mine as well. So let's get into topic.
I mean, well, speaking about that, wait, sis. Patterns.
Getting into the pattern or getting into the habit. Yeah.
This is a topic that's so important because I feel like everyone has a certain pattern.
Yep.
Whether it's something small, exactly. Small, big, good or bad. Like everyone has a pattern, even every day.
Every day.
You get up, brush your teeth, go to work, come back. It's always like a certain pattern.
Yeah. Because patterns can also be like relative to like habits.
Yes.
You pick up on those things where
good or bad.
Yeah. Just depending, like, you just do a certain thing a certain way and you just stick to that.
Well, with that being said, can patterns be a good or a bad thing?
It depends.
Yeah.
Like there's people, I mean, I could speak for myself more than anything. I have good patterns along the way, but also bad ones too. That I've done my work of like healing and, just trying to be a better person all around. I'm definitely not the same person I was and I think that goes for everybody.
Right.
I'm not the same person who I was when I was like 18, 21, 25, 27. I'm gonna stop right there because then y'all gonna know my age. But yeah, like sometimes even like people that I keep in contact with, like on social media, that haven't seen me in years, probably over 10 years, they probably have this like perception of me of like who I was back then. And I'm like nowhere near the person. And it's happened to me. I've like ran into people and catching up, and then, you know, they're just like, oh my God, like they just
like you look so different. You're so different.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like we all have the power to grow. If we put ourselves to it, we can break any unhealthy patterns just like we can make good patterns, you know?
What would you say are some like good patterns you have?
Good patterns. I feel that one of my good patterns that makes me who I am, I think it's just being like a good friend. Mm-hmm. I think that I'm a very, very good friend, and I feel those who are my friends know that. Yeah. I may not have a lot of friends, because that's another thing. With no offense to anyone, but I'm keeping it real. I probably have like 3 friends. Yeah, like 3 friends that I talk to almost daily, that are up to date with everything that's going on in my life, to a certain extent, of course. And yeah, I think I'm definitely like a good friend.
Honestly, people who have more than 5 friends, I'm judging. No one has that many friends that close. I mean, keep it real.
Or like even the people who say like they don't have any friends or nobody's loyal and all this stuff, but they always like have hella people, you know, posting on their like happy birthdays to this and like always, you know, come on, like be for real.
Yeah.
Like, no.
For sure. So, I think for me, patterns, like you said, I feel like they can be both in a way, good and bad. For example, me, I'm a very reserved person, which is weird because we're doing this podcast.
I know.
But I don't know, like I feel like when I'm comfortable around people or someone, like I can be myself. Like, I mean, I'm gonna always be myself, but it's like I'm never the type, if you don't know me, I'm never gonna let you see too much of me. Yeah. So that's when I fall into like that reserved state. Yeah. Like I'm very reserved. People who meet me for the first time, they'll probably be like, ooh, what's wrong with her? Yeah. Why is she like that? Yes. She don't talk. Yeah. And it's just like, honey, I don't want to talk.
It's levels to this. Like, I think that definitely is a pattern of you. And I think that has a lot to do with like the way we were raised.
For sure.
And also having me as like a big sister, because like whatever I was like learning along the way, I was like giving her game. And even Karen, like, you know, she can say that for herself, you know, just the way I was raised and stuff, and just how our mom is definitely like that. Our mom, like, you know, she's not the type to be on the phone with her friends and in people's houses, and you know, she's not that type of person. So we learned to be like super, like, just super reserved. That's definitely a pattern.
Like, we're very awesome. Like, we're all different, but we're all so alike in so many ways.
And like I think like the roots is where I think we just have different personalities, of course, because we're just individuals. But definitely, like, I think those patterns. Yeah. Like when I was saying about, I consider myself a good friend. I just feel like my patterns of friendship, I feel like all of my friends are very alike, even though they're very different. And I feel like it's like a 2-way street. It's not a 1-way street, because I had to break that pattern. I had to break the pattern at one point where I was always the friend to just give so much and be very available. And that did me wrong.
Speak on that.
It did it did more wrong, or it did more, you know,
being too good.
Yeah. Then, because it was a point where I was like, you know, growing up, and I really couldn't understand it. And, you know, I'm not saying this to like think that I'm better than anyone, but I always felt that I had like a special light inside. Yeah. And people gravitated to me, and I would just be like why? Like,
and it so automatically simple. Made people hate you for being honest.
That too.
People don't like to see greatness.
That
like,
too.
Keep it real.
And I feel like when that started happening, I remember someone telling me that And which is why I said I have like a light within. I remember my mentor once told me that being a light, it attracts all different types of bugs.
Come on.
And
hold on, say that one more time.
Being a light attracts different type of bugs and insects. You know, it could attract like you know, flies and
spiders,
and whatever. Also butterflies and you know, it just depends. And then you just have to. I guess I just lived, like I learned how to live with that. And a lot of people will say like, oh no, you're so to yourself, you don't tell anyone your business, you're quiet on social media, you know. People don't know of the things that I'm doing until I actually do them or they're done. But that comes, I had to break that pattern. Because I was always the girl to like pick up the phone and just calling a friend and just be like, oh, I'm about to do this and this and this and that. And, you know, and like, it didn't turn out really good. Yeah. And I was the one that people will come to and just like wanted to dump all their traumas on me. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't doing me any good because I'm very like, if you tell me a problem, I your problem becomes my problem.
Right. And you were playing superhero.
Yeah, like saving people that really didn't need saving. So I think a good pattern is that I am a good friend across the board, but the bad pattern in that I had to break was stop, like know who deserves my friendship and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think another bad pattern that I would say is always looking at things like in a negative way. Like even if something bad happens, like I'm quick to be like, dang, like I should never done that. Like I'm instantly regretting, and I don't look at the bigger picture of it.
Okay.
I read a quote the other day that said like some problems lead to like, it said something like leading into like the future, that like you don't know what's behind a problem, like in a positive way. Yeah. And I read that and I saw that and I was just like, why am I like that? Like I want to change that so bad, and God knows, like I'm starting to look at things. I want to start looking at things in a more positive way. Like if something, like let's say this cup fell, I'm like, oh my God, like this water, I should never put it there. No, look at it. Like, look, maybe it's gonna break this light right here, but maybe God got 3 more lights for me. You know what I'm saying? Like
in a positive
way. And I feel like that really helps you, not even like with your mental stuff, like your mental state of mind.
Yeah.
Looking at things in a positive way, not always being so grumpy and being like, oh, like this, and I should have never done that. And, you know, I just want to look at things. I want to look at life better. Yeah. Better picture.
Being less pessimistic.
Yes.
Yeah. People who are just very like, they look, it's just like the type of people. I was actually talking to my mom about this. Shout out to you, Mom. That I was telling her, and I'm like, you know, like I'm at a point in my life where, like we say in my country, I'm from Dominican Republic, and they say like, banda todo el mundo.
Right.
Like I'm not like, it is what it is, but everything around me, I'm not going on my way to like, you know.
Yo no estoy en gente. Tú supiste, ¿verdad? Yo no estoy en gente.
I'm not on that time, because there's some people who are very pessimistic, and they look at, like, you give them a solution and they still look for the problem.
Yep.
Like, I want to talk about solutions and not problems moving forward.
Come on.
Because, man, life is short. Can, like, imagine how much attention you're giving to something going wrong. And I feel like life just kind of keeps going, right? Sometimes we just like stop right here, and then it's just like, no, like you stopped and you're upset and you're in your feelings and you have every right to be, but done like 5, 10 seconds, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 3 hours, 5 days go by, and you're still stuck on the same thing.
Yes.
Like, you know how blessed you are to see like 5 days ahead, and you're still.
That's the thing. It's crazy. Wait, sis, hold on. That's the thing. It's crazy how big of an impact something negative does to your life.
Yes.
You could have had a great week, and because one little thing happened, let's say at work, you're done. You're like, I've had a terrible week.
Yeah.
Just for one little thing.
One little thing.
And it's like, you see how much impact something negative does, like, to your life.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And now that you were saying that about patterns, so I'll share this. It's a little personal, but I'm gonna keep it real.
Right,
like
we're getting
I
personal,
said.
y'all.
I'm gonna keep it real, like I said. So I'm married, To those who don't know, I'm a wife. Yay!
Wife.
Yeah. And I remember for a lot of my life, like it started off with like 19, 20. Up until my age, or up until I met my husband, really. I dealt with like a lot of long distance relationships because
come on.
So all right, it's social media, and I know I'm not the only one who's met someone through social media and fell in love and got flown out, and
keep it real,
had a long distance relationship. Yeah, for sure. And I've had a few long distance relationships, and I remember a friend of mine one day like called me out on it. She was like, "You're so pretty, you're so this, like, why don't you find someone here, like
local,
you know?" And I was just like, man, like, I just don't know, like, I don't, because again, like, I'm super shy sometimes. So it was easier for me. Like, I remember Twitter was lit back in the day, at least for me. I'm not really on Twitter like that anymore, which I kind of do want to open up a Twitter again. But I would meet people, and like these social media apps kind of turned into like dating apps for me. But I don't have any like crazy story. I don't have anything of like anything wrong happening to me or anyone catfishing me, thankfully, but I dealt with a lot of long distance relationships, and it wasn't until like meeting my husband and like, what he does and what he dedicates his life to, and just our situation right now, I do spend a lot of time away from him. And I don't have like that typical marriage of being, in a household. Like, we do spend time together, and it's amazing when we do, but I'm not always with him, and he's not always with me. And it was like a pattern that turned out for like a good cause, because it was kind of like in training,
preparing you,
like
for your marriage.
Me, right. And now in my marriage, it's just crazy. It came like full circle, because now it's easier for me, and like I have things that keep me busy, family work, now this podcast, just for things that keep me, and just talking and FaceTiming, and, we're always in communication. But that was definitely a pattern that I had throughout my 20s, and I just didn't know that it was going to like turn out for a good cause.
It turned out to be a positive pattern.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it was definitely preparing you for what life has for you right now.
Yep.
And that's exactly what I'm saying about looking things in life differently. Like, maybe before you were maybe stuck in the moment, like, why does this happen, or why would I get into a relationship? We're in a long distance relationship, but it's like behind it, like behind closed doors, God was already working on something without us even knowing.
Right.
And like you told me the other day, you were like, I feel like God just be looking at us making these decisions, and he just be laughing at us.
Yes. I was, Facts. Another thing is, like, during this week when I knew that we were coming up until this day that we were going to record our first episode, not that I was like second guessing myself, because I was already decided that this is what we were going to do. Yeah. But I was very like, I'm a person that I'm always asking for like signs, and I'm not like I'm not one of those Gideon. People. I'm not one of those people that I'm always like, I just always, what's the thing throughout life? I have learned that I want to do everything very intentional. Like, I just don't want to do things just because. Yeah. And I didn't want to get, behind a camera and just get a mic, and, there's like a billion podcasts right now. Literally. And they're amazing, because I tune into like a billion. I listen podcasts.
To like a good 3, 4, 5 maybe.
Yeah, and I'm always like, and they say something, they catch my attention. I'm just like, that's so dope. But like, my intention, it wasn't like, I wasn't thinking about like the numbers or fans or anything like that. Right. I would just, this week I had 3 friends. Well, 2 friends out of the 3. 2 friends, and one is a cousin of mine. And
that's not even a friend for real.
No, two friends and my cousin. So it's 3 people. 3 people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, one of my friends is my cousin.
No. So it was 2 friends and my cousin. So 3 people. And all 3 of them were dealing with or are dealing with some stuff right now. And if, when you guys see this, I'm, obviously I'm not going to tell y'all business, but I just felt like, not to sound selfish, but what they're going through right now, like, for me, it was a positive thing, even though what they're going through is a negative thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because all 3 of them, like, one of them sent me like a 20-minute voice note.
El diantre.
Yeah, swear. And she was like venting, and she was crying, and like, I'm listening to it and I'm crying with her, like, and, because I told her, like, I'm doing this thing that I might not always pick up the call. Okay, I'm probably never going to pick up the call. And I know that sounds terrible, but yeah. I just have a lot to do too. But I'm more of a person, like, if you send me a voice note, when I'm going to have the time and I'm going to give my undivided attention, and just with headphones, I can listen. And it's better than a conversation, because I feel like when I just listen to someone talk, I listen.
And you gather your thoughts together.
Yeah, and I don't interrupt. So that works between me and her. And when she's sending me this, and I was like, she's been in a funk this week. And then my other friend had another situation happen to her. And, she runs to me like the majority of the time, and she's always like, you get me, you understand, and thank you. And I be keeping it real, like, and I feel like that's what they love, because a friend knows that I mean it. Like, whatever it is, whether it's like a good thing or a bad thing, I'm gonna mean it, and it's because I care about you. And then my cousin, it happened today, she reached out and she was telling me some things that she's going through. And even though all those 3 situations were negative, it gave me like the sign I was looking for, because I'm like, there's people who care about my point of view, and there's people who like appreciate my words and
for sure
advice. So I just felt like I gotta do this
for sure.
And that, just here we are.
Yeah, that's actually pretty dope, because I feel like having a real friend, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't have so many friends. Like, truly, like, when you like revisit or think about your friends, it's really down to like a palm, like 5 or less. Because the thing is, a true friend is being real. Like, I know there's people that they come to you because they know you're going to tell them what they want to hear. Right. That's not real friendship. No. I'm sorry. That's not real friendship. Like, if you're my friend and you're going through something, I'm going to tell you how it is. Like, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm just going to be like, that's wrong. Yeah.
Or the friends that they expect you to be their cheerleader when they're doing wrong things.
Or to sugarcoat.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to cheerlead, like, when you're doing wrong things. I actually had to, like, break, part of the patterns that I was talking about. I had to break those patterns, always being, like, the yes man. I had a moment where I was being like a super yes man, like, okay, girl, like, yeah, girl. And like, in reality, like, I think it all comes down to like values. Yes, for sure. When you don't share the same values in a friendship, a relationship, a marriage, like 10 times out of 10 is really not gonna work out. Like, you guys have to have like at least common values.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think another negative pattern that I can talk about experience is really just overthinking things.
I'm such an overthinker.
Like, overthinking, eso es del diablo, man. I know. For real. Like overthinking literally changes everything. Like, it could even be like, what am I gonna wear? Like, something simple. Yeah. What am I gonna wear today? Oh my God, but if I wear that, no, but if I put that on, and like, I'm stuck. And at the end of the day, I'm not wearing nothing than what I was fighting over with myself. Yeah. Like, that's just a small example, but it's like overthinking situations, like constantly overthinking.
I'm such an overthinker.
Yeah. And it's like, that can really be like a negative pattern. Yeah. And I feel like that's something that I really actually want to work on. on breaking. I want to be more kind of just let go, like God.
With the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow. Like it is what it is. Like work towards it, pray about it. I mean, but other than that, like I hate overthinking.
I know. And you told me this a couple of times when I come to you and I'm like telling you and I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again because I overthink. But if I have someone that I trust that I can like share my thoughts, you know, as much as I'm saying it out loud, it like helps me in a way because I'm like hearing myself, like trying to make sense. But overthinking, I didn't think of that. Like it's definitely,
I think we just need to learn, to just talk positivity over life.
Yes.
Talk positivity over life. Like I read this quote that says, if you think you can't, then you cannot.
Yeah.
Like it's all in here.
Yeah.
All in here. Like if we would have said, "Ooh, girl, we want to do this podcast, but we don't even got mics or this or that," and we get stuck in there.
Yeah.
We were never going to start this podcast being like 100% honest. At all. But if we started saying like, okay, when? Let's put a date. Like you said, let's put a date on the flyer. Like, let's go for it. And I was like, I'm down.
Yeah. And at that point, I don't know what got into me.
Honestly, I don't know.
Because I'm the one that I'm telling her, like, how are we going to do this? But I don't know. It was like a push.
Yeah,
I don't know.
for sure.
I'm like, just do it, you know? And definitely overthinking. I'm definitely going to work on that because it is all in our heads most of the time.
For sure.
We think that, you know, and most of the times it's not even like that.
Yeah.
It's not even like that.
We make problems bigger
like
than what they are. Yes.
And so this book that I'm reading.
Please share that. I was just going to say, share what you told me the other day because that literally, I feel like that changed my life, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, this book that I'm rereading, it's so amazing. It's called The 4 Agreements. I'm sure that a lot of people might know about this book because it's like super popular. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Is The 4 Agreements. Keep your word. Like, you know, always make sure that your word is like your bond.
Right.
Back in the day, we used to say word is bond. And I didn't really understand that until I got older. And definitely always keep your word. The second one is don't take anything personally. And I think a lot of us take a lot of things personal. The third one is don't make assumptions. Stop assuming. That goes into overthinking because overthinking is assuming and it's not even like that. And then the last one is always do your best. And I'm actually rereading that book and I'm just trying to like make it through my head because those are common things and they're so like, I wouldn't say they're hard to do, but those are things that we go through on the daily. You know, we have to keep our word if we're going to say like, yeah, I'm going to be there on time. Yeah. Are we really being there on time? If someone is like, oh, that shirt makes you look whatever. Yeah. I'm taking it personally. Or if someone walked in and they didn't say hi to me, like, am I assuming that they're mad at me? Or when I do something, whether it's like, you know, making something, am I doing it the best way that I can? Right. That's something that you go through daily. So, and it also helps like breaking the patterns. It talks a little bit about patterns too, the way that we were raised. Because some of the patterns that we have is not so much of like us. We just kind of develop them because it's what we've been like taught. Exactly. Yeah, it's not really
like for example, we've always been taught to do our best in everything, like from a very young age. Yeah, it was even if you couldn't afford something, with what you have, you still had to do your best. It's like I was telling you yesterday when we were at Walmart, we were looking at all these Valentine's Day things. And I looked at like these little invitations that these kids nowadays they take to school and they give out to their friends with like candies, lollipops. Yes. And I stood there and I stared at it. I was like, I remember being young and like we couldn't get those. No. But I remember even though I couldn't get those, my mom would sit me down and cut out 25 hearts and stick a little lollipop on it. Maybe it wasn't the one from the store, but it was doing my best with what I had. Yeah. You know, and even like little things like that really taught me like to appreciate the little things in life and not always look at things like that, you know, like in a negative way of like, oh my God, me being a kid, I can't afford this, I can't do that. All the kids at school doing it. But my mom at an early age taught me like, no, you're going to do this. Like you're still going to give something in school. Yeah. And, You know, she made me work for it. She made me do it. And at the end of the day, it was like way better than buying something because it was personal.
And even though, you know, I was kind of like, because I remember you saying that in Walmart and you were like, we're too broke to afford it. And then at that moment, I actually thought about it in a positive way. And I told you, and I was like, I honestly don't think that we were like too broke. Even if that was the case, I just think that our parents were thinking, I guess the way I'm thinking now, that, you know, okay, first of all, Valentine's Day is like, it's like a holiday to spend your money on. I said it.
It really is.
I said it. Every day is Valentine's Day.
If you haven't told your person you love them, I bet you on the 14th, you telling them you love them.
Yeah. Or like, that's the day women get flowers. Like, no shade, but like, no shade. No shade. But no.
I prefer to get flowers every single other day instead of the 14th.
Yeah, like,
no me venga con ese show, que yo no estoy en show.
No estamos en gente.
No estamos en gente.
Because it's like, why is it that one day you have to make people feel special? I mean, I'm not against it. It's not like I'm not going to do dinner.
Right, for
or I'm
sure.
not going to get flowers, or I'm not going to, you know, do something nice. But it's just like, I think our parents were just like, they weren't spending money on that. Like, I'm not about to spend money. Like, because when you really, really think about it, I'm not spending money on something that she's going to give to these kids that they're going to tear up, and they're going to have like 25 more from the 25 other students.
Right.
You know, like, I know that sounds kind of like, but I kind of get mom now.
You get home, those papers going in the trash.
That's what I'm saying. So like, especially when you're growing up like us, we was in New Jersey back then. We weren't, you know, we didn't have
We just weren't trying to spend on unnecessary things.
No.
To be honest.
Yeah, and I feel like they had a lot on their plate as well. So now that I'm older, now that I'm older, I understand what it was like. And I feel like even though our parents showed us certain patterns, now that I'm older, I'm thankful.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. And I think that can be very positive. Like I said, like, it made me value the little things. Like, it's something that I want to teach my daughter when she grows up and she's around that age.
Same.
You know, like, let her know about things that actually really do matter.
Really matter.
You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like, oh my God, see, now you're going to make me go down a hole because about things that really matter, you know, growing up around that age, out of the people that I surrounded myself with, like my friends, now looking back at it, I was like the poor girl. Like, I was the girl with less resources, and I was the girl that didn't have the best. I was the girl that had to wear sneakers from Walmart when everybody was rocking Fat Farm.
Not even just that, just, you know, hand-me-downs.
Yes.
I remember going to the lighthouse. You remember the lighthouse?
Yes.
You know, I remember they give you a little ticket, and I'll stay outside while mom and mama will go around, and they'll give you little tickets, how many boxes of cereal you can take, get a few clothes, and at the end, they always give me one toy.
Yeah, we had like a really, really humble beginning.
For sure.
And I always feel like that's what kept us different. Even though back then, you don't really understand it because you see your friends like on another level. But you know what? I was never a hater. I was never like...
Neither was I,
no,
to be honest.
Because we weren't taught to be like that. You know, we were taught that, like my mom still says it to this day, that we're grown. Cuando se tiene, y cuando no se tiene, no se tiene. Which means when we have, we have. And when we don't have, we don't have. So I feel like out of the friends that I surrounded myself with, I was the one that, I wasn't as fly. I wasn't as fresh. But I always knew something made me like different, you know, because I had values at home, you know, and even though I didn't have like the perfect family, that none of us had the perfect family, but I had like real love. I had my grandma, I had my mom,
for sure,
my sisters. Like, I had real love and real loyalty. And a lot of people didn't have that.
And we always had family coming back home. People would go home, you know, like I used to have friends talking about how they didn't have a dad, didn't have a mom, you know, orphans. Like, it just made me so grateful. Even now growing up, I'm just like, wow, like, even though we did go through what we went through, like, I'm so grateful because I was still blessed, you know, without really realizing, especially, you know, as kids, as young teenagers, we're quick to judge and be like, oh, I hate this. I don't have this. I don't have that. Yeah. But I feel like that wasn't really our case in a way. Like, we were always grateful about what we had.
Yep. Even if we were eating like a McChicken from, I don't think we're supposed to say stuff like that while we record a podcast, but whatevs, you know, like,
they ain't sponsoring us, so
you know, even little things like that, we were happy with that. Maybe other kids were eating a Happy Meal and we just, you know.
And the thing is, we were always fly, sis. Hold on.
Walmart
or not, Lighthouse or not.
No, what I'm saying is
it wasn't always giving broke.
No, it wasn't always giving broke. And that's one thing that I appreciate my mom for.
It was giving growth.
No, for real. Like, it was one, but see, like, we get to laugh at that now. I'm saying, like, what I'm saying is our friends, or at least my friends, they weren't hitting up the Lighthouse.
No.
You know, they were hitting up, like, the store, like, the mall, you know, and I wasn't. Yeah. But, like, my mom will always make sure that we were, like, clean. Our hair was done. Our you know, whatever we were wearing was nice. And, like,
planchadita.
Yeah. That's why now that I'm older, rocking a purse from Aldo's and rocking a Chanel is the same thing to me.
Yeah, like, not saying that I don't like nice things.
Right.
Like, I'm cool.
I love nice things.
I'm cool with going to Ross or somewhere, you know, not trying to say all these names, but, like, I'm cool with going to certain places and finding a nice blazer or something. Like, I'm cool with that. Even if I do pay $20-$30 for it, I don't have to pay $100 on a blazer.
And you know, those are patterns that now this day, like, the same people, they were like, you know, fly as hell back in the day. Now they have kids and now they have to, like, they're literally going broke, you know, buying their kids. Look, parents out there.
Come on.
Stop it. Stop with the whole your kids need
buying your babies
all this stuff, because like, it doesn't. No, if you show them true values inside, if you show your kids true values and who they are, and they have a confidence in who they are,
for sure,
and they know that mom and dad, or just mom or just dad, or whoever is working and is helping them and is investing in them, it doesn't matter. They'll know. Like, I seen a little video of this kid. He's like an African kid, and he says, I know I'm gorgeous.
Okay.
I look into the mirror and you don't have to tell me that I'm smart. I know I'm smart, you know, and I love it. And I've seen it like a million times, and every time I see it coming on my timeline, I always like it, depending what page puts it up. And it's just like, you see kids and, you know, they look at them and they judge them. But I'd rather someone judge my kids for what they're wearing than with how they're acting. You know, like,
keep it real.
Yeah, because what good does it do if my kids are all like just fly as hell, but they can't even say please and thank you. They can't even say please and thank you.
Right.
They walk into somebody's house and they're opening refrigerators.
Keep
and
it
they're
real.
You know, they just have no manners, no values. You know, they're growing up and wanting to be drug dealers and all types of stuff. They have like no sense in life. But they're fly? No. I don't think that's it. So.
I think for me, when I found out I was pregnant, I think that was like one of the things that I learned throughout my pregnancy was to not spend all that money.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when I found out I was pregnant, I looked up so many articles. I read so many, like, books, honestly. Like, I read, like literally, like, how to be a mom. Like a
manual.
Like a manual. Like, I followed all these moms on Instagram. I was watching YouTube videos day and night. Like, I was on mom duty, for real. And the thing is, I was watching all these videos, even like what you really need for a baby, what to not get babies. Because I'm like, I don't want to go crazy. Yes, this is my first baby, but I don't want to go crazy buying shoes.
Right.
When my baby don't really walk till like 7, 8, 9 months.
I mean, she's 6 months and she takes off her own socks.
Literally.
So imagine that.
So it's like, I've always kept that in mind. And I'm not saying like that's bad.
No.
Like, yeah, I bought her a couple,
Of
you know,
course.
just for cute pictures, you know, but it's not like, oh, she has. I know
mean,
people.
She does have expensive things.
Yeah,
though.
she does.
Yeah.
But it's like.
But they're like needed things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like investing on things that really do matter for sure. Like have a good bassinet, have a good changing table. Okay. But it's like shoes, clothes, like I'm not going to buy her a Chanel outfit, $800.
Oh, God.
Esta niña crece de día a la noche.
Yeah, I'd rather invest that like in an apartment.
Yeah,
in VR, like something.
I'm not doing that. I'm not spending $800, $900 on an outfit for my daughter that grows in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
like she's constantly growing. Literally, like last week I bought her these onesies. Today she wasn't fitting them, and I get upset. I'm like, no, you better suck it in. You know, we fitting in this. But no, it's just like little things. Like even becoming a mom, I've learned to like really spend money on necessary things.
Yeah, that's another pattern.
Necessary things.
Patterns of, you know, splurging money just because you have it. That's not good. You know, I mean, if you have it, go ahead. But I have it and I don't have to flaunt it or show anyone that I do have it, that I'm like, that's like nobody's business. But you know what? That's another thing that comes with like social media. Social media wants you I don't know what it is now. It's just a different age now for me, because like we didn't have that back then. We didn't have something to like flaunt and just be like, yeah, we got this or whatever. Even like to the point that people like dating certain people just because of what they have, not because of who they are. Right. You know, like, you know, lucky me, you know, my husband being like all stable and I get to be a stay-at-home mom or like whatever, and I don't have to do anything or whatever. But like, what about the women who are working and they also have a good man by their sides, and they are, you know, I just feel like a lot of people right now, they're not really living their truth, and they care more about what other people see. And you know, like I'd rather not have certain things and then have like a peaceful mind than have everything and not being able to sleep at night.
You know what they say, more money,
more problems. And if you didn't know, now you know.
For sure. Yeah, so
that's good.
I think that's been a pretty good topic. Patterns, like, and that leads to so many other topics like traumas and things like that.
Oh my God, yeah.
That we are going to get into, you know, topics like that for sure. We just want to keep it real. Like,
all the way.
We're taking off the bandage. We're ripping it off.
All of it.
Que estamos poniendo vaselina y quitártelo poco a poco.
Ningún pañito caliente ni tibio para nadie para que se sientan bien tampoco.
Look, we making wigs fly. All right.
Not mine though.
Well, yeah, man, this has been a pretty good episode.
Yeah, I think we did good. I'm proud of us.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess what you guys will be expecting from us moving forward, we're going to get into a lot of like we spoke today about like patterns and breaking those patterns and trying to implement good patterns into our life, you know, drinking your water, working out, getting your sunlight, eating clean,
eating vitamins,
and sometimes having a treat. Okay, like sometimes I'm okay with comfort food. Okay, like
all right,
you know, I could eat lettuce and drink water all day, but like
I need sushi.
You know,
sometimes
even like a burger,
a brownie.
But you know, just also be gentle with yourself. I think that's always my thing to people. Just be gentle with yourself.
Don't be hard on yourself.
No, take it one step at a time, because just go with just try to get into the rhythm of life, and you're always going to have up and downs, but keeping healthy patterns and breaking negative ones, it makes a huge difference.
As long as you set your mind that you can. Yeah. So always keep that in your mind.
For sure. And things that you will continue to hear from us will be conversations just like this. Some we plan on getting like super personal and emotional, talking about what it's like to be Latina women.
Dark Latina women, because we are colored.
Yeah, we are.
It's different from other Latinas.
That's very true.
For sure.
That's very true. Afro-Latina.
Afro.
If we're being honest.
For sure.
Afro-Latina, we know where our roots come from. You know, having another language and just growing up in the country. The things we've learned along the way, motherhood, marriage, single life, friendships, relationships, goals, aspirations, just keeping it real. Like, we just want you guys to just see us as like your homegirls.
Yeah.
Like, people that you can talk to, trust.
For sure.
Eventually, when we grow a little more, we're going to even be taking like
suggestions.
Yeah,
for sure.
We're going to be answering questions that people send to us on our social medias. We're here to give anybody advice anonymously, or we can put you on blast if you want to. You know, just see us like a little therapy session that's for free.
Yeah. Not really.
But like full of love, and just a lot of transparency.
Yeah, so make sure our DMs are open, as well as our comment section. If you do have a topic maybe that you want us to talk about, chat about, I mean, just comment it down below and we'll get to it. We'll definitely get to it. We're open, really, to talk about anything. Like, something that we talked about prior to this podcast was, what are you willing to talk about?
Yeah.
And we're just like,
anything.
Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Like, no mascarilla. Like, let's keep it real. Take it off.
Yeah. All of it. You know, because like that's what I think, that's what a lot of people are missing right now. You know, a lot of people just come on here and they try to keep it too real that it's fake. You know what I mean?
Come on.
But if you just become just like, just hear my sister, you know, like, even if we just had a fight or something, just come in here like, I really can't stand you, but we're gonna talk about,
but we got to do this pod.
You know,
leave your differences at the door.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, it's just, you know, we go through things as well. We're not perfect. We're not like perfect sisters. We have different points of views. We have different perspective, and you know,
for sure,
if you can't relate to one, you can relate to the other. No, or you can
right.
relate to both. You know, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to our first pod episode. And yeah, just stay tuned for our next episode. Keep liking us on the gram. We always post videos or flyers with our next date. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace out.